Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to have a selective mutism expert, psychologist, Dr. Vera Jaffe, with me today. And Dr. Jaffe is going to answer some frequently asked questions from parents of children with selective mutism. And all the questions she answers today are from parents in our Selective Mutism Association of China Parent Support Group. Thank you, Dr. Vera, for being so generous with your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So let me introduce Dr. Vera Jaffe, her background. Dr. Jaffe has a Master of Arts from the University of California, Berkeley. She has a PhD in psychology from Iowa State University. Dr. Jaffe is a board-certified clinical child and adolescent psychologist and certified therapist for parent-child interaction therapy, PCIT International. Dr. Jaffe is a selective mutism expert. She served as a member of the board of directors of the Selective Mutism Group for 4 years. She is a member of the Association of Behavior and Cognitive Therapists and the Selective Mutism Group and AADA. Let me recommend the picture book by Dr. Jaffe called called Sophie's Story. It is a story about a little girl named Sophie. She has selective mutism, and the story follows the life of Sophie and what is her difficulty in school and in various situations. And Dr. Jaffe used the form of a story to show the parents of children with selective mutism and their teachers and all their loved ones how to help children with selective mutism to deal with life situations. And this book has been translated by volunteers from our Selective Mutism Association of China, Zhang Yan, Nianhua, Junhua, and the Chinese version of the book will come out on Amazon soon, and it will also be published in China. Let me read Dr. Jaffe's disclosure for this interview. Dr. Jaffe is very pleased to participate in this interview when she answers questions from parents. She would like to inform you that due to the nature of this presentation, she will only be able to make some recommendations in general terms, and that her suggestions will only be based on the information given to her, and they are not a replacement for professional relationship, diagnosis, and therapy that families may be obtaining or that are recommended to obtain. Dr. Jaffe cannot make any specific recommendations, make any diagnosis, and provide treatment during this presentation. This is an educational interview where Dr. Jaffe hopes to help parents face barriers and seek solutions, strategies, and further professional help when necessary for their children. For more information on Dr. Jaffe's professional services, you can go to her website, www.verajaffe.com. Dr. Jaffe, could you please tell us how did you start working with children with selective mutism, and describe to us what are the key to help selective mutism children?
Thank you. So I have been doing this type of work for more than, I think you have do you have did you pass the microphone to me? You are still going around you.
So you are speaking, it's not mute.
It is recording, me too, right?
Recording. It is recording.
Okay, thank you so much. Sorry about that.
Okay, we just want to make sure. We can cut. It's
Thank
okay.
you.
Yeah.
I have been working with selective mutism for over 20 years. The first cases I started receiving here when I moved to Florida were new cases. We hadn't been trained in psychology PhD program on this area. It was considered elective mutism, and there was very little known about it. And I started then obtaining more information because I wanted to know what I was supposed to do. And with that, I started doing research, and I also joined the organization. And we started as a group developing ways to find out what would be the best treatment and building up empirical data information. So with all that in mind, my approach to any child is neurodevelopmental. We need to see the child, see where the child is developmentally, how old the child is, the strength, the weaknesses, and we need to look at all the other functioning too. And then we decide, depending on the age of the child, what approach we're going to use. Of course, behavioral therapy for children who are younger, cognitive behavior therapy for older children, and we all now have the protocol for selective mutism based on parent-child interaction therapy. But more importantly, with all that in mind, these approaches are best used and utilized, and they're more effective if they're done at school or if they're done in public. They're done where the most difficult time and place situation and with people that the child is having. Working from the office is not enough. It's important to have exposure exercises where the issues happen. And that's most of the time in school, not all the time, but most of the time in school. Could be at a ballet class, it could be a restaurant, it could be with family that they don't see very often. So basically that's the approach that we use, and there is more research now coming out, and so my work is based on research and on those frameworks that I think are important to take into account when working with children. Okay. So I would like to provide to the parents, and first of all, thank you so much for having me speak with the parents from all over the world, and especially in China, and your work in terms of giving information for parents and professionals and everybody. So it's the step number one psychoeducational approach to helping families and become more informed on what are the best things to do. With that in mind, today I would like to be able to give parents and professionals, whoever is listening to this, one piece of or a tool to use after we are done. So I would like everybody who is listening to this to get a piece of paper and to write place, person, and activity. And write a place where your child speaks, a person that your child speaks most of the time. So a place would be home, a person would be mom and dad. And then activity, what is your child's favorite activity at home? And other activities that your child does at home. And then I'd like you to write places and people and activities that your child does not communicate socially, verbally, mainly verbally. So I'd like you to have your ultimate goal, which is for your child, of course, to speak with everybody and at all places, most places, not strangers, but most places, and doing most activities. But I want you to think about the first step that you want your child to take, the easiest one. Would it be with a new person at home? Would it be at school or a park? Would it be where? And I would like you to pick the activity that your child likes to do the most and put in that column. So that will be your first step. And I want you to start thinking about how you're going to go about doing this. This is not like I'm not giving slides for you to use, but this is the only slide that I'm giving, and another opportunity. I'd like to work with those three elements and how to plan for this. So if you are watching this video and you want to come back later on when we can use your information to get another video, another time that we share, I can work with that with you. But this is the frame that I would like you to start using as a parent, okay? So let's just start with that, and I hope that will work for you by the end of this time.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jaffe. So we're going to start answering parents' questions soon. Okay, let me